speak to Andre Walker, a Conservative political commentator who joins us now from London. Andre, good to see you. I mean, clearly time is running short, particularly on this issue of competition rules. There still seems to be this huge gulf between the two sides, although, as Jack was saying, perhaps they're inching towards an agreement. Do you think there is still scope for a Brexit deal?
Yes, I absolutely do. But the most important thing we've got to do is leave the European Union transition period on the 31st of December, first of all. And the reason is it's important for your viewers to fully understand what's at stake here. The European Union, when it talks about the level playing field, is proposing that British employment law, British regulatory standards are set in Brussels by the government of the European Union. And then if Britain does not comply with those, the arbitration will be decided by the European Court of Justice, which is a silly name for an organisation which is the Supreme Court of the European Union. The European Union at the moment takes out £600 million worth of fish from British fishing waters per year and allows the United Kingdom to take out just 100 million. That process will continue after Britain leaves the transition if there is a deal. That's what the EU is proposing. Now, imagine the United Kingdom was to do a deal with the United States of America, and that deal was that the United States Congress would decide British employment law. The United States Congress would decide British regulatory standards. The United States Congress would decide issues related to British manufacturing. The United States of America would control UK fishing waters.
Right,
and any arbitration was done by the United States Supreme Court. You would say
totally
it was mad.
Understand the point you're making there, but I absolutely get that. If we're breaking away from the EU, we don't want to be governed by EU rules any longer. That's understood. However, if Britain leaves with a no deal, businesses are going to be hit with tariffs on imports and exports from January the 1st. Most British businesses are dreading that. Is that not a catastrophic thing to happen for the economy, which has already been hard hit by the COVID pandemic?
No, well, first of all, it's important to understand that there are people who are dreading it, but that's not the vast majority of business. The vast majority of business in any jurisdiction trades locally. Those businesses will have fewer regulations on them and will be able to cut prices because effectively at the moment, we are required to comply with every rule to export to the European Union, even if you don't export to the European Union. But there's a fundamental misunderstanding on tariffs. The United Kingdom is a net importer. We're quite a small island and we can't produce all the food that we need. So we import twice as much as we export. Now, at the moment, tariffs on products entering the UK, admittedly not from the EU but beyond, are set in Brussels. After this process, the United Kingdom will be able to set its own tariffs and make its own decisions. So right now, if we want zero tariffs on any product brought in throughout the world, we can't do that. The European Union won't allow us. On the 1st of January this year, that will become legal for the British government to do. Now, let's not get that confused with those people in the United Kingdom who don't want to drop tariffs. And instead, what they want to do is they want to continue protectionism with the EU. That's a different matter altogether. But if you are importing to the United Kingdom, then we can drop all of those tariffs completely on day one. And I think we should. The reason is because no country has done that and become poorer. So let me just finish the point very quickly. If we were to have the same tariffs on imports and exports from and to the European Union, they would pay twice as much to come in to sell in our country as we would to sell in theirs, because they export twice as much to us as we import from them.
So let me ask you this. If the two sides do manage to reach some kind of agreement on Wednesday and say, yes, we have a deal, but it's not the deal that you or other Brexiteers think is a good deal, what are your options?
Well, it's going to be incredibly difficult, but I think that this battle will never be over. Always remember that the Norwegians voted not to join the European Union, and yet they are one of the biggest financial contributors to the European Union, and they continue to take rules. Look, the political class in most countries in the world are determined to get into these blocs simply because they get paid an enormous amount of money and have very little political scrutiny. Believe me, I used to work in Brussels in the European Parliament. It's a great job, very little work, tons of money, great lifestyle, champagne every night, Michelin-starred dinners, and that's why I'm the size I am. Believe me, it's superb. Whatever happens, whether we do a deal or not, the political class in the United Kingdom will attempt to push Britain back into the European Union, but that will happen slowly and incrementally. The first big victory that they want is for Britain not to take control of its territorial waters and employment law. If we fail to do that, then we won't have properly left the European Union, and we'll have to continue to fight that battle. But believe me, as long as the European Union exists, there will be a battle in Britain to secretly take Britain into it.
Andre, thank you very much indeed for speaking with us. Andre Walker there in London.